Hi, Hugo Reed. This week's book is called The Runaway Pumpkin, and it says by Kevin Lewis and illustrated by S.D. Schindler. Do you remember what the person who wrote the words is called? The author, right? And the illustrator does what? Draws the pictures. So the author and the illustrator. And this is a rhyming book, which is always fun. So let's take a look at this first picture. Is this in the city or the country, do you think? I think the country, because I see lots of space between the houses and it looks like there's some fields where they're growing things. And what season do you think this is? We have a hint already because pumpkins come at what season? Fall, right? And I also see some leaves changing colors in this picture. So that tells me we're in the country and it's fall. Once upon a hill, when the wind blew with a chill, wandered Buck and Billy Baxter and their baby sister Lil. And there upon that hillside, growing orange and fat and fine, the budding Baxters found a pumpkin on a twisty, twirly vine. You see the children, they're all dressed up, it looks like in Halloween costumes. Where are the pumpkins? Do you see them? Way up where they're going. Growing up there on their vines. It was big and it was round, and the boys, their eyes agleam, gave a whoop, a yell, a holler. No finer pumpkin had they seen, and today was Halloween. Ooh, that's enormous, isn't it? It's bigger than they are. Yet, little Lil was cautious, and of course she tried to warn them, but her bumbling big-head brothers snapped the pumpkin from its stem, and she watched them roll it at first real slow, but then much faster. Little Lil looked down the hill and she foresaw disaster. She sees something bad is gonna happen. Oh gosh, look at that huge pumpkin. Round and round across the ground, making a thumping, bumping sound, came that thumpity, bumpity, thumpin', bumpin', round and rolly, runaway pumpkin. Oh my goodness, look, the boys are clear up. They lost it, they're up there. There it goes. Remember what was at the bottom of the hill? A town. A short way down the hillside, that zooming pumpkin caught the eye of mucking Mama Baxter, who thought of Granny's pumpkin pie. Remember, when it's in a bubble, that's something she's thinking. She's not saying it, she's just thinking it. She's thinking, that would make a big pie, I bet. But look, it broke right through her fence. The pigs are all scattering. Yikes! They're trying to get out of the way so they don't get squished by the pumpkin. Round and round across the ground, making a thumping, bumping sound. Imagine that thumpity, bumpity, thumpin', bumpin', round and rolly, runaway pumpkin. It busted through her sty. Oh my goodness, now the cow is running. A bit further down the hillside, just beyond the chicken coop, Grandpa Baxter saw the pumpkin and thought of Granny's pumpkin soup. What do you think is going to happen next? Do you see these? And this? Do you think that's going to go well together? I think so. Till it knocked him for a loop. Look, it knocked Grandpa over and those chickens are flying. Flock, bark, bark, bark. Round and round across the ground, making a thumping, bumping sound, came that thumpity, bumpity, thumpin', bumpin', round and rolly, runaway pumpkin. Look, there's his chickens smashed. Poor thing. Hope it's okay. Oh my goodness, it's going down another hill. That's a big one. Do you think it's going to go faster and faster? I think so. Now, at the bottom of that hillside, where that bouncing pumpkin sped, Papa Baxter on his tractor thought of Granny's pumpkin bread. I love pumpkin bread. But Papa Baxter used his head and quickly plowed a pumpkin bed. Look, this thing he's pulling behind his tractor makes all these lines. So he made a round spot for the pumpkin to land. Sometimes we call that a pumpkin bed, or flowers grow in a flower bed. So at the bottom of the hillside, fat and round upon the ground, that thumpin', bumpin' pumpkin plopped and didn't make another sound. And as pigs and hens and Baxters gathered round where Papa plowed, little Lil, she gathered Granny and pulled her through the waiting crowd. Buck and Billy looked real proud. I don't know if they should look proud. What do you think? Instead of, oh my goodness, it ruined all those things, they're thinking, yeah, we did that. Look at that big pumpkin, don't you think? Then, thumpity, bumpity, thumpin' bumpin', straight to the kitchen went that pumpkin. And soon after came the smell of dear old Granny cooking something. Look, this is silly. Could you really make your doors? Look how it's stretching the door. You couldn't really do that, could you? But they're smashing that huge pumpkin in. Think what it does inside. You think it rolls over furniture? I think it might. Granny stirred and stewed and baked up until the full moon rose up, and all those hungry Baxters set themselves right down to sup. There's all those things they were dreaming of. Wow, Granny is a good cook, isn't she? Do you see Mom and Dad now have on costumes too? I wonder if Granny will put one on. Let's see. Oh, she does. Look, do you see Granny now? And at the center of the table, among the soup and bread and pie, sat a grinning jack-o'-lantern with a twinkle in his eye. Oh, look, Grandpa has on a costume too. He looks like a bug. So I guess they just use a little bit of the pumpkin because they still have a jack-o'-lantern out of it, don't they? Whoa. That is a very cool looking jack-o'-lantern. And that's the end. She's dedicating it to the people that it says for Ilana, Bella, Emma, Hannah, Grace, and all the girls who are on a roll. Those could be children or they could be their friends. And there's that little house where they live out in the country. And that is the end. I hope you enjoyed the pumpkin book. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.